Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're heading out to Shutter Island, September 1954, Ashecliffe Hospital.
Yeah, this is a really intense one. We're looking at the sources covering that investigation by U.S. Marshals Teddy Daniels and Chuck Aule.
Right, into that impossible disappearance from a hospital for the criminally insane, a maximum security place.
And the sources, they just throw you right into it. The atmosphere is thick from the start. Teddy Daniels is, well, he's violently seasick on the ferry over.
Even though the water's flat, apparently, which is maybe the first little clue something's off.
Could be. And he's looking at, piles of manacles, heavy chains just sitting there in the galley. It's not exactly a welcoming sight.
No, it screams control, incarceration right from the beginning. And the island itself is just this remote speck, storm clouds gathering. You feel trapped before they even dock.
Exactly. And then they get the case details. Patient Rachel Solando. Vanish.
The one who killed her kids, tragically.
Yeah. And she disappeared from a room locked from the outside between 10 p.m. and midnight, barred window, no forced entry, nothing.
It's completely baffling. I mean, how does that even happen? It has to be an inside job, right? That's the immediate thought.
That's certainly Teddy's immediate thought. How does someone, barefoot, get out of a locked room in a place like this? It defies, well, everything.
Okay, so let's talk about Ashecliffe itself, because the place looks deceptive.
Totally. You see pictures, descriptions. It looks like, I don't know, an old college campus, red brick buildings, nice lawns, hedges.
But it's this fortress operating under two different charters, State Department of Mental Health and the Federal Department of Prisons.
That dual identity is key, isn't it? It wants to look like care, but it operates like a prison, and the marshals feel that immediately.
Oh, yeah. First order of business. Surrender your firearms.
Citing Executive Order 391, Teddy is not happy about it.
He specifically says he's doing it under duress. Already, his authority is being undermined.
And the physical security seems weird. There's this 10-foot orange brick wall, sure, but it's topped with just a single strip of wire.
Doesn't quite scream maximum security for someone determined, does it? Especially if they supposedly got past multiple checkpoints, 7 orderlies playing poker.
Right. How does she do all that, barefoot, unseen? Teddy's suspicion that the security is basically theater, well, it seems pretty justified.
And the staff they meet. They don't exactly help matters. Deputy Warden McPherson.
He's described as having this unusual eagerness. A bit too smiley, maybe, like a cowboy grin.
And then Dr. Cawley, the head psychiatrist.
What?
Very smooth, very controlled, but he has those connections. OSS, CIA precursor, HUAC funding.
Which, in 1954, definitely raises eyebrows. Cawley tries to manage the narrative immediately, correcting Teddy patient, not prisoner.
But then there's that moment of, genuine confusion from Cawley when Teddy mentions a senator or federal involvement.
Yeah, that's a weird wrinkle. If this whole thing is staged for Teddy, why doesn't Cawley know that part of the script?
Yeah.
It suggests maybe layers to the deception.
Okay, so Teddy gets this clue, this note left in Rachel Solando's room.
Mm-hmm.
And it just consumes him.
Oh, absolutely. The law of 4. I am 47, they were 80, we are 4, but who is 67? It's perfect bait for someone like Teddy.
He dives right into decoding it. Fixates on the number 13, the letters in Rachel Solando's name.
He works out RACHEL adds up to 47 using some basic code. And he becomes convinced that 67 refers to a hidden patient. A missing patient, number 67.
And this hunt becomes intensely personal for him, doesn't it? It seems tied into his own massive trauma.
Definitely. We learn about his past. His father lost at sea back in '38, which kind of explains the seasickness, maybe.
But the bigger thing is his wife, Dolores, died in an apartment fire. Smoke inhalation, the source is stress, not burns.
And his grief is physical. Migraines that are just debilitating. Vision loss. Water becomes this huge trigger for him. Rain, the ocean, anything. And brings back these fractured, awful memories.
He drinks a lot, too. Presented almost like self-medication, trying to keep it all down.
Yeah. And all this fuels his belief that Ashecliffe is something sinister. He connects Cawley's OS-CIA past and the HUAC money.
To Cold War paranoia, mind control experiments, that kind of thing.
Exactly. He starts suspecting drug testing, LSD, mescaline, phencyclidine drugs known back then to mimic symptoms of psychosis.
He thinks they're trying to create, ghost soldiers?
Okay.
Assassins?
Or maybe just, test subjects, people they can manipulate or control, maybe dump them in Ward C, the blue zone, if the experiments go wrong.
Which leads us to Ward C, the most secure, most dangerous part of Ashecliffe. Teddy finally gets access.
And he interviews a patient there, George Noyce.
And Noyce just lays it out for him, doesn't he? Flat out says, all this is for you. It's a game, Teddy. made up just for you.
It's a huge moment. Someone inside the system confirming his deepest paranoia that this whole investigation is fake.
And it links to what that woman in the cave tells him later, the supposed dissident doctor hiding out.
Right. She explains the psychological trap of the place, the syllogism of insanity.
Can you break that down? It's chilling.
It is, basically. Premise 1, insane people deny they are insane. Premise 2, you, Bob, deny you are insane. Conclusion, therefore, Bob, you must be insane.
Wow. So any attempt you make to prove your sanity, any denial, any fear, it just gets twisted into more evidence of your insanity.
Exactly. Your fear is paranoia. Your denial is a symptom. There's no logical way out once you're inside that frame.
And this mindset seems reflected in the staff's own conflicts. There's a war going on inside Ashecliffe, psychiatrically speaking.
Oh, yeah. You've got Colley pushing the new school talk therapy and, crucially, new drugs like lithium. He thinks they can replace physical restraints.
But then you have others, like Dr. Lehane.
The old school, they believe in more drastic measures, psychosurgery, lobotomies.
Which are described pretty brutally in the sources. Squish right through the eye. It's barbaric.
And the stakes are incredibly high, especially for the Ward C patients. Colley's fighting to keep them from being chained down during the hurricane, fearing they'll drown. It's a race against time and against the old guard.
And meanwhile, Teddy himself is showing physical symptoms.
Right.
Real, tangible things.
Yeah, things that line up with what that doctor in the cave warned about drug withdrawal.
Yeah.
He's got terrible dry mouth. He's having visual hallucinations.
Seeing islands that aren't there. Chuck's hands looking weird.
Uh-huh. And he's starting to get these small tremors. Palsy. Starting in his wrist and thumb. Classic signs, apparently.
Which all leads, eventually, to the central twist. The thing everything has been building towards.
Paint anagrams.
That code Teddy was obsessed with. The Law 4. Who, AS-67. He thought 67 was the missing patient.
But the letters RADIESALDWNE, they rearrange.
Just to spell Andrulatus.
And Teddy Daniels. U.S. Marshal Teddy Daniels.
There's also an anagram for Andrulatus. He is patient 67. The investigator's the patient, the man he was hunting.
Was himself, or rather, the persona he created. Andrulatus is the real person. Teddy Daniels is the delusion.
And Chuck, his partner in Chuck Aule.
Turns out he's Dr. Lester Sheehan, Andrulatus's primary psychiatrist for the past 2 years.
So all those awkward moments, the fumbling with the gun holster.
Intentional clues. He's a doctor, not a marshal. He was playing a part, trying to guide Andrew back.
And the true crime. The reason Andrulatus is at Ashecliffe. It's devastating.
He murdered his wife, Dolores.
Because she had drowned their 3 children, Edward, Daniel, and Rachel, in the lake by their home. She was manic depressive, unwell.
And Andrew couldn't face it. Couldn't face his loss or what he did in response. So he created Teddy Daniels, the hero marshal, hunting the fictional arsonist who supposedly killed his wife.
So the entire investigation, the missing patient, the storm, the codes, it was all engineered by Colley and Sheehan.
Yes. An incredibly elaborate, last-ditch role-playing therapy session. They had a deadline, apparently just 4 days, before the hospital board mandated psychosurgery for latest.
A lobotomy.
Yeah. They show him everything, his real intake form, crime scene photos, the diagram of the lake, proof he's been a patient for 22 months, prone to violent outbursts when the Teddy persona takes over.
And for a moment, it works. He breaks through.
He remembers. He says his name, Andrulatus. He acknowledges the truth about Dolores and the children. I murdered my wife. She needed peace.
It's this incredibly painful moment of clarity, but Colley's worried.
Right, because this happened once before, 9 months ago. He came back to reality and then slipped back into the delusion.
And the next morning, that fear is realized. He's sitting there, dressed as Teddy again, with Sheehan, who he calls Chuck.
Lights a cigarette, looks out and says, "You think they're on to us?" And Sheehan plays along, heartbroken. "Nah, we're too smart for that."
Which leads to that absolutely killer final exchange as they're leading him away, presumably towards Ward C and the lobotomy.
He turns to Sheehan, to Chuck, and asks that question. Which would be worse, to live as a monster or to die as a good man?
And he just walks away. It leaves you wondering, did he truly relapse? Or did he choose the delusion, choose the lobotomy that would make Teddy Daniels permanent?
It's such a powerful look at trauma, denial, how the mind protects itself. And the sources ground it in real psychiatric history that clash between talk therapy drugs and surgery in places like McLean Hospital back then.
So the final question isn't just, is he crazy?
No. It's more like, Faced with an unbearable truth, did Andrew Laeddis decide that living as the good man, Teddy Daniels, even in a surgically enforced fantasy, was better than living with the monstrous reality of who he was and what happened? Is choosing the lie the ultimate act of survival?
A heavy thought to end on. What a journey into that island's darkness. Hopefully you kept your own grip on reality through this deep dive.